In order to give her daughter a better life, the woman took advantage of the wealthy family's nanny sleeping to switch their child with her own. Knowing she had done something wrong, she hurriedly ran out with the child in her arms. But as soon as she stepped out, she ran into the child's mother. Frightened, the woman didn't dare to look back and kept walking straight ahead. When the lady returned to the room and looked, her eyes widened in shock. She immediately recognized that the child on the bed was not her own. Recalling the strange behavior of the woman just now, the lady realized that her child had been swapped. She immediately sent the bodyguards and nanny to search for them. But even after searching the entire hospital, they couldn't find them. 18 years later, both children had grown up. The wealthy family's child was kind, generous, and patient. However, the child pretending to be the wealthy girl had a very nasty personality. Even though she was the one who was distracted by her phone and bumped into the elderly woman, the scheming girl still believed it was someone else's fault. She immediately pushed the elderly woman to the ground and mocked the elderly woman for obviously being poor. The elderly woman angrily retorted, but was met with insults from the scheming girl. The elderly woman was so enraged that she clutched her chest while watching the scheming girl walk away. At this moment, the girl saw the elderly woman sitting on the ground, and even though her parents told her not to get involved, the girl still ran over to help the elderly woman. While helping the elderly woman take her medicine, the elderly woman noticed the girl's work ID. Coincidentally, the girl was an intern at her own family's company. The elderly woman silently took note of her name and called her grandson the company's CEO, asking him to look after the girl. After doing the good deed, the girl arrived at the company, but was immediately met with difficulties from her supervisor. The supervisor wanted to fire her on the grounds that she hadn't submitted her design. However, the girl clearly remembered that she had submitted it, and the current first-place design was exactly the same as her own draft. Obviously, the scheming girl had stolen her work to win first place and put her own name on it. The girl went to confront the scheming girl, but she was pushed away. The supervisor nearby also started reprimanding the girl for not knowing her place. All the colleagues sided with the scheming girl. The girl was flustered and helpless. At this moment, the CEO, who had received a call from his grandmother, arrived. He originally wanted to thank the girl who helped his grandmother, but due to the similarity in the pronunciation of names, he mistook the scheming girl for the benefactor and even promoted the scheming girl. Seeing that the scheming girl had a connection with the CEO, the supervisor was even more determined to help the scheming girl drive the girl out of the company. Deliberately, in front of the CEO, he brought up the issue of the girl not submitting the design again. As expected, the CEO began to inquire about the details. The girl wanted to explain, but the supervisor accused her of being shameless. The colleagues all accused the girl of slandering the scheming girl. The girl became even more helpless and could only look to the CEO for help. The CEO suggested checking the surveillance footage. The scheming girl and the supervisor, fearing that the truth would be revealed, became a bit flustered. But the security guard reported that due to system maintenance, the surveillance footage for that day was incomplete, and the existing footage did not capture the girl submitting her design. The supervisor and the scheming girl exchanged glances and smiled smugly. The girl wanted to explain further, but the supervisor interrupted her. The CEO also believed he had been deceived by the girl, and his impression of her worsened. He decided on the spot to dismiss the girl. In order to stay in the company, the girl had no choice but to seek help from the scheming girl. The scheming girl, wanting to leave a good impression of being forgiving on the CEO, claimed that as long as the girl could find a witness, she would give her another chance. The girl thought of a friend who also worked at the company and had witnessed her drawing process. She found her friend and asked them to testify for her. But the friend had already been bribed by the supervisor. Faced with the girl's request, the friend only said, "I don't know."